There is growing pushback against the Biden era FDA policies that have allowed dangerous abortion drugs to be trafficked across state lines, including into states with pro life laws. And among the latest efforts is one by Missouri's Attorney General, who last week filed a new challenge to stop these dangerous high-risk chemical drugs from flooding the country through mail order distribution. And joining me now to discuss this is Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway. Attorney General Hanaway, welcome to Washington Watch. We appreciate you coming on board with us.
Thank you very much, Congressman, or should I say pastor, or just all-around good guy?
Your call. It is fine. Listen, federal law, as we all know, has long prohibited sending abortion drugs through the mail, but that's not stopping these abortion traffickers right now, is it?
Yeah, we are very concerned about particularly the drug mifepristone, which, causes a chemical abortion, often later in pregnancy, and that these women right now are not required to be seeing a doctor. And we're terribly concerned for the health of the women, not only the fact that they're terminating pregnancy, but that there's real risk to the woman that she could have side effects that could be life-threatening.
Yeah, so let's talk about that, some of the side effects. Aside from violating federal law, these abortion traffickers, drug traffickers, are undermining state laws. But can you capitalize on what you just said, and what are some of the hospitals in Missouri seeing as a result of these drugs?
Yeah, the hospitals are seeing women who obviously have gone through this very traumatic experience of terminating a pregnancy, but then their body has to deal with the deceased fetus and expel that from their body. And so when it doesn't go well, they may bleed out, they may seize, they may have a stroke. It's a real threat to these women and their well-being. And if they don't understand that it is the direct result of this drug, they might not seek medical attention right away. And what these hospitals are seeing is that these women are coming in really critical condition. Whereas if they'd been under the care of a doctor the entire time, if they'd been counseled as to what the risks are, they might have sought medical help much sooner or not needed it at all.
Wow. Yeah, and the abortion drug's own labeling, the information there roughly says that 1 in 25 women who take these chemical abortion drugs end up in the emergency room. I can only imagine what kind of a response there would be if some other product did that. But I think we probably all know, because this is about abortion, everybody says we need to keep it accessible and it's totally safe. What do you make of that?
I think it's tragic that our culture has come to a point where a drug that ends the life of a baby is something that is sacrosanct and being protected by people. You're right. If any other drug was killing people at a rate killing anyone, and here we have, it's pretty much 100% effective against the babies, but then to have 1 out of every 25 women having real critical health crises as a result, it would be, there'd be an uproar. And certainly the trial lawyers would be at the front of the line to capitalize on that.
Yep, I'm sure you're right about that. So what are you asking the courts to do here? Walk us through what you're trying to accomplish.
Well, specifically, we're asking that the courts halt the sale until such time as there is a requirement that physicians be involved in delivering this care.
So how long do you expect this process to take?
Well, sadly, we've already been in court on the drug of mifepristone for a number of months. We've added the most recently approved by the FDA generic drug, which is it's still mifepristone, it's just another generic. So I would anticipate that we're talking 6 months to a year before we really have any action in this case.
Wow. a lot more damage to a lot more women and babies, of course, can take place over that period of time. I think it's also worth noting that the Trump administration can also do something about this. What is it that would be, if you could say something, what would be your message to the administration right now over this issue?
My message would be that there is a lot of harm being done to women. There's a lot of harm being done to babies. There are alternatives to this that are much more responsible, and I would just ask that the FDA reconsider its approval of this drug and really think about the risk of just these pills showing up in the mail to these women coming from who knows what source, often sources outside the United States, and to protect these women and to protect the unborn and withdraw the approvals of these drugs.
Well, thank you so much, Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway. Thank you for your leadership on this, and thank you for joining us today on Washington Watch.
Thank you, Mr. All-Around Good Guy. I really appreciate it, Jody. Thanks for having me on.